All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha-Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone, which taught us the truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom. Alright, the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Judah, the so-called Negro. Benjamin, the so-called West Indian. Levi, the so-called Haitian. Simeon, the so-called Dominican. Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalan to the Panamanian. Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Rican. Manasseh, the so-called Cuban. Gad, the so-called North American Indian. Reuben, the so-called Seminole Indian. Naphtali, the so-called Argentinian to the Chilean. Asher, the so-called Colombian to the Uruguayan. Issachar, the so-called Mexican. These make up the 12 tribes of Israel which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. This is 2 Ezra 15 verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, which I just showed you a list of his people, the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper. We got the book form of the Bible. For they are faithful and true. They speak of Yahushai, their prophecy. Alright? So they are faithful and true. Now, in 2 Ezra 15, it says in verse 10, Behold, my people, the Israelites, is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Alright, and something that came upon ancient Egypt that's happening to Babylon, the great America, alright, is apparitions. Alright? Yesterday, while I was in slavery, I had two supervisors talking to each other about being witches, a male and a female Edomite. They were talking about being witches. The female was going in on how she used to be visited by apparitions when she was little, and her mother, when she was a teenager, brought her a Ouija board and told her that it's time to come into the life. Alright, and so ever since she's been doing tarot cards and all this shit. Alright, and I was just listening, eavesdropping, alright? And she said, there's no God, there's no Satan, there's no heaven, there's no hell. And the guy was agreeing with her. You know, they were just having a conversation. And we had real heavy wind. Alright? And the wind was making a sound like thunder, alright? And I heard the guy, the manager, Edomite, actually say that. He said, damn, that wind sounds like thunder. And right when I heard it, right, the emergency fire exit door that was closest to us blew open, which was locked. Alright, it blew there was a padlock on it and the lock for the fire alarm. Then on top of it, the fire alarm did not open. Alright, which I knew what it was. It was a spirit. Alright? And that woman was startled to a terrified state, because they were just talking about apparitions. And when that happened, that was unexplainable. How the door was opened. Alright? Nobody was by it. It's locked. Alright? 2 locking points. And then the alarm didn't go off. Alright? And then when I shut it, I relocked it, the alarm went off. You know, and I could see in her face, she knew what it was. It was a spirit. And they probably got agitated because I was praying and listening to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Alright, which taught us the truth. And this spirit, whatever it was, it could have been Legion, it could have been Satan, it could have been, you know, one of the left-handed angels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And it dipped. You know, it fucking kicked that door open. Like he was pissed off and it was out. Alright? And this happened in ancient Egypt. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1. For great are thy judgments, and they cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, just like they're doing today, the holy nation is the Israelites, and back then you had the Egyptians, which were Hamites. Today they'd be South Sudan. They were oppressing us in Egypt. Today you got the Edomite, the so-called white man, and the other nations. They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night. So the plagues were upon them. And you can read about this in Exodus, alright? With the bonds of a long night lay there exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. Alright? Strange apparitions. And this is happening worldwide. Alright? It's happening in America. You can see it on TikTok. See right here. I just Googled apparitions caught on TikTok. And there's tons of material on it. Alright? So these Egyptians today, Americans, the Babylonians of today, are being terrified by apparitions. Alright? Like events of what I just seen yesterday. Alright? I could see in that woman's eyes, she was terrified. Pretty much she was frozen. She was screaming out, "Who did that? Who's that? Who did that?" And I laughed and I said, was that a coincidence? Which we know that are in the truth. Alright, there is no coincidences. It's all preordained by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And what was heavy was, I knew there was a spirit because my phone kept getting turned down on the apostles. I'm listening to the apostle elders, and the volume of the video kept getting lowered down. I turned it up, and it get lower and lower over time. I said, oh, there's a demon fucking with my phone. Sure enough, all this happened right after that. You know, and I already knew because we're in the spirit. And we already know what's going on because according to the prophecies, these are the things that are to take place. Alright? But with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Ha-Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which taught us the truth. And Shalom unto the hopeful elect of the nation Israel. May you endure to the end. Shalom and Abba B'Bal.